Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Nikki and I'm so glad that you're here with me today because I have been meaning to do this video for such a long time. I'm finally sitting down to do it and I'm so glad that you're going to join me today. Today's video is going to be about laser hair removal, more specifically Brazilian laser hair removal. So if that is something that you were interested in, or you're just kind of thinking about it, or maybe you're through the process already and you just want to hear other people's perspectives, you've come to the right place. Before I get into that, if you aren't already subscribed, or if you're just new to my channel, welcome. Again, my name is Nikki, and here on my channel, I kind of do a smorgasbord of a bunch of kind of lifestyle / travel / home fragrance. It's just a smorgasbord of things that really bring me joy. So if you like home fragrance, if you like hearing about things like laser hair removal, a breast lift, things like that, also clothing hauls, Bath and Body Works hauls, Stitch Fix and Trendsend, and all sorts of clothing subscription try-ons, all those kind of things. I hope that you will stick around and hit that red subscribe button before you're done. I am, at the time of recording this, I'm at 498 subscribers, so I'm so close to 500, and I would love to have you join me here. Okay, but the real reason you're here is because you want to hear about Brazilian laser hair removal. So before I get into the process and kind of probably some questions that you might have, I'll kind of tell you the history of it. First of all, I had been kind of considering laser hair removal for a while. I have been someone that has gotten Brazilian waxes for, geez, I'm going to be 36. And I've been getting them done since I was 18. So we're talking about almost 18 years that I have been doing waxes. And usually waxes run between, depending where you go, $50 to $60, and I would get it done about every 4 to 5 weeks. And usually also with waxes, you do have to let it grow a little bit. So there are times where you're probably not bikini ready because you're getting ready to do a wax. So I was just kind of thinking, while I don't mind getting waxes, they're not overly painful for me. I was kind of getting tired of having to make the scheduling to do it and for having to go during the summer. Sometimes it would be a little bit inconvenient in terms of wanting to go to the beach and wear a swimsuit, but having to worry about scheduling the waxes. So you kind of get what I mean. It was just time to think of a different alternative. So I decided to look into laser hair removal. Luckily, where I had actually gotten my breast lift, my plastic surgeon here in the Reno Sparks area, Tahoe area, she is the best in town. And not only does she have a plastic surgery center, she also has like a medical spa. And I have done Botox there before, and I really, really love their facility. I love their staff. I trust them. They're more on the conservative side. They don't want to like load you up with like fillers and things like that. They want you to look like your most natural self, but where you also feel good looking like as close to your natural self as possible, if that makes sense. Anyway, so I decided to have a consultation about laser hair removal, and I wanted to know the costs. I wanted to know how many rounds I needed to do, what exactly like side effects wise, would I be a good candidate, all that sort of things. So what I decided to do is I called, I'll actually put a link for where I went if you happen to be in the area down in the description box below. My plastic surgeon was actually Dr. Tiffany McCormick. Again, she has been named Best in Reno, Best in Reno Tahoe for a very long time, but her medical spa is called M Spa. She actually has an office manager that kind of does the consultations for the M Spa. So I met with Gina, and before I did, I wrote questions of everything I wanted to know. So I really recommend before you go in, schedule it out like a couple weeks. So that way you can really start researching things online, but also asking questions for yourself, because every medical spa is going to be different in terms of pricing, of how many cycles that they think you need to do, the type of people that are going to do your procedure, things like that. So I'll let you know kind of the questions that I asked. So first, I'm sure you want to know cost. So that depends. First of all, it depends on the area that you're going to do. Obviously, I was talking about Brazilian, and also how many cycles you plan on doing. So usually you do 6 to 8. So I decided that I was going to do 6, and I would add the 2 if I felt like I needed to do more. It usually runs around the $180 to $200 per cycle price range. So I think I did 6 sessions, and I want to say I paid $200 per session. So 6 cycles. And just to let you guys know, I'm about to have my 4th cycle in a couple weeks. So I am over halfway done with my 6 cycles. I did pay for this up front. So you do, actually, what I think I did is I did a deposit during my consultation. Yes, that's what I did. So that way I could schedule, and then I paid the rest after my 1st cycle. So it's all paid in full. They do have options too at my particular med spa where you could do payment plans, kind of like how you would do if you had like plastic surgery. So that was an option as well if for whatever reason you really had to do this, but you just didn't have the cash on hand. Another thing I wanted to know is what makes a good candidate. So what makes a good candidate? I'll let you know right now, if you have light hair, wherever you plan on getting laser hair removal, this doesn't have to just be in, the Brazilian area. I'm talking legs, underarms, anything like that. If you have blonde hair or grayish hair, it will not work. So the lasers really only work on dark pigmented hair. Luckily, that's not really a problem for me. So that is something that you should be made aware of. If you are blonde, if you are a very fair-haired person, laser hair removal is just not going to be an option for you. Also, if you're able to handle waxes, they said that you could probably handle the way that laser hair removal feels. I will talk to you about that in a little bit because I was a little surprised by the pain factor into it, which I'll talk about later. Don't be discouraged, but I'm just letting you know. They said if you can handle waxes, that you can handle laser hair removal. That's true to an extent, but we'll talk about that later. Also, if you're able to dedicate the time to be able to do this. So one thing you do have to know is, during this time, you can't, be exposing your Brazilian area to the sun because it is like having a sunburn in a way. Your skin is very sensitive to the sun, so you have to be very protective of it. Also, you have to be able to dedicate the time to be able to go every 6 to 8 weeks. So that is also a thing, so you're not going to have one session and you're never going to see hair again and you're done. So you have to be able to schedule it accordingly too. So if you're hoping that by the summertime, you are going to be all hair free wherever you decide to do it. It could be underarms, Brazilian like I'm doing. It's probably not going to happen. I started, I want to say I don't remember if it was late January or early February, but we're getting into, I probably won't be done until the end of summer. Now, I will say I'm able to wear swimsuits though without having to worry about anything. So I'll talk to you about that too. So anyway, after they had talked about everything, I did ask about the pain factor. They said they do have a numbing cream, but they suggested that I not do the numbing cream unless I wanted to because the numbing cream can be expensive. I think it ran $50 for me. By the way, if you're wondering, now I don't feel like taking it off since I'm in the middle of a video, but if you're seeing this white, this is paint from painting with my youngest daughter at preschool. So forgive me I apparently forgot a spot. Anyway, so they told me, try one session. We think you're going to be fine because, you've had waxes, you've had kids, you know what pain is like. We think that you're going to be fine and we don't want to have you spend so much money on such a small bottle of numbing cream if you don't need to. And I was like, okay, cool. It should be fine. I watched other laser hair removal videos and some people said, yeah, it hurts. And then other people said, it's fine. But I think it really depends on the area. But again, I'll talk about that after I talk about the first session. So it didn't seem like pain factor was going to be an issue. I had no problem with the cost of it for the 6 sessions. I did ask, can this last forever? And they did say things like hormonal changes, like for me, when eventually I go through menopause in about probably between 10 to 15 years, your body is going to have a major hormone difference and you might get some hairs that spring out. She did say after the cycles are over, I could do touch-ups for $50 if I felt like, for whatever reason, say in 3 years, I have, a patch of hair that decides to reappear. They will treat that for me. Now, during this time, like in between sessions, you can shave. One other thing is you cannot wax. So I had to finish my waxing. I think I had to make sure I did not wax. I don't know if it was 4 to 6 weeks before my first session. So that was another thing that I needed to be sure that I did not do any Brazilian waxing at least a month before my first session. Okay, so I had that all scheduled. And so let's talk about laser hair removal. So before you go in, you are going to have to make sure that you shave about, I think they wanted me to shave 12 to 24 hours beforehand. They wanted it pretty much smooth. So what I did is I shaved the day before. Now, I know that I had said they don't want you to be waxed before, but they do want you to be shaved. Obviously, the reason is, if you wax, it takes the hair follicle straight out of the little pocket that it's in. They do want that hair still in the pocket. So that's why you will just shave. So you're going to shave as best as you can. Obviously, it's hard to see. If you don't know what a Brazilian is, Brazilian covers everything. So you're talking, the very inside thigh. You're talking about the whole private front area and your crack. Let's just be honest. We're doing the crack. So, my technician, her name is Lauren, and she is fantastic, and she touched up any areas that I may have missed. So if I missed a hair here or there or a patch in the back, she took care of that for me. So don't be too self-conscious about if you're doing a great job shaving or not. Also, my hair grows super fast when I shave. So when I shaved, even though it was probably 14 hours later, she did a little bit extra for me. They do say that you can take an ibuprofen beforehand if you'd like. I did not take one beforehand. I also, like I said, I didn't have any numbing cream. So when I got there, she kind of went over everything. I signed all the disclosures, agreeing that I wasn't going to go into the sun, at least in that area. You can obviously wear like swimsuit shorts, things like that cover the area. Also be sure that you're not going to be sunbathing like 24 or 48 hours after. You're not going to want to do a lot of exercise that your thighs might be, rubbing together in any sort of way or getting a lot of heat. You don't want to have your seat warmers on. You don't want to take hot showers. So just so you know, I'm a hot shower person. You're going to want to take lukewarm to cool showers for the first, probably, I would say 72 hours after you get each wax. After that, you can go back into hot showers. Okay, so I get there. The first thing that they had me do, and I'll insert pictures that I have taken during my cycles. There's not many, but just so you know, out there is a cover for you. So that way when they come back in, you're not like spread eagle saying, hey, waving hello to them, if you know what I mean. They do give some cleanser down there. So obviously I'm sure you're going to go fairly freshly showered, but say for example, it's summertime, it gets a little warm. They do give you kind of like a rinseless body cleanser. So you're nice and clean down there. And then what you're going to do is you're going to lay down on the bed. You're going to put the cover on. They do give glasses that you can wear because obviously the laser, they don't want it hurting your eyes or anything like that. They just so you have protective, almost looks like, sunglasses that you're wearing. And I will say the whole entire process, each cycle, she can do my whole entire Brazilian area in less than 10 minutes. She does a fabulous job. She's very quick and efficient. So she goes ahead and starts. There are certain areas that are very painful. I don't know if painful is the way I want to say, but it stings a lot. So you do need to be, and I feel like I have a fairly high threshold. I've had a C-section, I've had a VBAC, I have tattoos, I've gotten waxes. I was sweating afterwards from holding my breath and I was trying to breathe through it, but there's a lot of spots that are really painful, and that was hard. So after that, I did say, I think I want the numbing cream. And so they did write a prescription for me to get the numbing cream. So I will let you know that is something that you are going to want to consider. Afterwards, like I said, it was very quick though. I'm so thankful for that. I don't know if I could handle it if it was like a half an hour long of dealing with that, because it's just little, and you will smell burnt hair. You know, that is what you're going to smell. You're not going to see bleeding or anything like that, but it's just little, and it's almost like a popping sound each time it happens. So just letting you know, they do get inside. So like I said, we're talking about Brazilian. They are going to move, you know, your private lips in and get those areas. You're going to turn around. They're going to do the crack area. So they're going to get everything. Afterwards, the area is going to look a little bit like a burnt chicken, or no, not a burnt chicken, a plucked chicken. So it's going to be, you know, it's going to be red. It's going to be tender and a little bit swollen. You will look like a plucked chicken. And if you watch this and you get Brazilian hair removal afterwards, I would love for you to come back and say, you were right about that. I did look like a plucked chicken. Anyway, so, but I will say the pain afterwards was very minimal. First of all, the swelling I was kind of talking to you about, like the plucked chicken look, goes away, I would say, within 2 to 3 hours. There is hardly any downtime. That is the best part of this, is you think with this process, you know, there might be a little bit of, you know, downtime or anything like that. No. You know, if you want to take a walk afterwards, as long as, you know, you're not putting a lot of heat into that area, you're fine. If you want to take a bath, you know, that evening, I guess you can. But I usually just took a shower, but there's no, you know, problems. You're probably not going to want to have intimate relations, to be honest, probably like the first night, but afterwards, you're not going to feel any sort of discomfort in that area. Also, when you go to the bathroom afterwards, I didn't feel any stinging that sometimes I would with waxing. But if you're worried about that, you can, you know, they do give aloe vera afterwards. I should have mentioned that. So afterwards, they give me a huge blob of aloe vera to lather up to really cool it down, and that is a lifesaver. And then you're done. And then you schedule out so the first 3 sessions that I did it in 6-week increments. Between my third and then my fourth coming up, it's 8 weeks, I want to say. Is it 8 weeks? Almost 8 weeks, I think. So they do try to space it out a little bit, especially depending on how quickly your hair grows back. Now, I will tell you 100% honesty. After the first session, I felt like it was immediately worth it. I'm going to tell you why. First of all, in many of those areas, I have not had a lot of hair growth back. And what you're going to see is there will be some hair growth, but you're going to see that it kind of flakes off. I recommend starting to exfoliate maybe like 5-6 days after you get your session done. So maybe 5 days later, start exfoliating maybe every 2 to 3 days, but you'll see a little bit of hair growth, like, you know, after you shave or after you wax, you'll get like those little just black or dark hairs that are just starting to come through. You'll start seeing them just flake off. It's really weird, but really nice too. I hardly have any regrowth since that first session in a lot of areas. I'll talk about the regrowth that I have seen since, but I mean, immediately I could see that this was going to be something that's going to work and is worth the money. So let's talk about that numbing cream. So so I got the prescription, I called it in. I couldn't pick it up until a couple days before my appointment, which was fine. It was, I believe, $50, and it is a small jar. Now, okay, so for my second session, it does tell you 60 to 90 minutes or 30 to 60. I'll have to look and I'll put it here, how soon beforehand you need to go ahead and do the numbing cream. Anyway, so I put some on. I put, you know, a thin layer on to all the spots. I go in for my second session. It still hurt like a bee. And I told her, I was like, I put the numbing cream on. I'm not quite sure why it stings so bad. And she said, you have to slather that on like mayonnaise. I did not know that. So luckily on my third session, I slathered that on. Now, it doesn't mean that it's going to be numb, to be honest. It's not going to be numb. But instead of a pain factor of like a 7.5, 8, it took it down to probably a manageable 2 to 3. So it's not going to be like you don't feel any stinging or pain, but it makes it so much more mild. So I really recommend, even if you think you are going to be fine without the numbing cream, get the numbing cream. Yes, it's an extra $50, but better to be safe than sorry. Okay, so after your first session, if you want to go without it, that's fine, but you'll have it for the second. And make sure you're putting a thick coat on. I will say that jar is probably only going to last me 2 cycles. I will happily pay another $50 to get some more numbing cream. So just letting you know, slather it on like you're slathering a ton of mayonnaise on bread. If you think you're putting on too much, that's probably enough. Don't put a thin layer on because it's not going to help. Okay, so let's see. I'm about to go into my 4th session in a couple weeks. I am still super happy. The areas that I seem, and this varies from person to person, the areas that I'm seeing the actual like regrowth in, like, okay, it's gone for a couple weeks, but then it grows back like a wax would. So, and it's not just like, okay, it flakes off. It's definitely growing. I am going to have, to shave it if I have to get into a swimsuit. It's been on let's just be real. It's on the lips. That's where I'm getting it. On top, like so, okay, I'm going to stand up. Here, bare. Here, bare. It's literally just on the lips part, and I believe maybe a little bit in the crack, that there is actual regular regrowth. So those are areas that it definitely seems that that's why there needs to be 6 to 8 sessions, because that regrowth is just going to keep happening until there is enough. It's getting used to having that follicle is just dead, or that, little pocket is just not reproducing any more hair. Everywhere else though, I'm getting little to no regrowth at all. And that started from the first section, and it just keeps getting better and better. So it seems like those particular areas just need a little bit extra special attention on. I will say there is a chance, and it's a very minute chance, that your hair, because of laser hair removal, might turn white. I know that sounds weird, but I had a couple hairs, and I know I'm no spring chicken, but it is a little bit too much of a coincidence that I never had white hair down there before. And after laser hair removal, I did have 2 strands. So just so you know, if that happens, you are not going to be those hairs will not be permanently lasered off. So you will have to pluck those 2 hairs or shave those 2 hairs, and that's just what's going to happen. Luckily, it didn't happen with all my hair. It was literally 2 little hairs, and I haven't had to worry about it. So that is basically where I am now. So I'm just hoping that those areas of regrowth, which they're small, but they are there, and I do notice it, that these next 3 sessions, because I'm halfway through, I still have a whole other half to go, that those will be gone. I'm hoping I don't have to do the 2 extra sessions, but if I do, I do. And I know that after the 8, they guarantee, and after that, if I need any touch-ups years to come, they will take care of it for the low price of $50. Again, that depends on where you go. So just because I get it doesn't mean where you're going to go that's going to happen. I will say that I have been so happy with the results that I'm thinking that after I do that, maybe next year I might do my underarms. I was thinking maybe my legs, but I don't really mind shaving my legs. And to be honest, sometimes I don't do it. I don't do it every day. I do it like every 4 days. Underarms, Brazilian areas where the hair comes out so coarse, it's really quick regrowth. I really think that it's just a great option to do. I feel like it's very well worth the money. I really recommend, make sure you trust the place that you're going to. I wouldn't just go to any med spa that's doing a special. Make sure that you talk to people that you know, or look at reviews that you're finding on Google or Yelp instead of just doing testimonials that you're going to see on their website. Go into this with your eyes open, but I mean, luckily, I mean, it's not surgery, but it is something that you are affecting your skin. So just to let you know, that's just something that you need to consider. I've had no scarring if you're worrying about scarring. Oh, by the way, either wear no underwear or wear very loose or cotton breathable underwear afterwards when you leave. Don't wear like your lacy thongs. They're gonna feel like absolute garbage after you get your laser hair removal for a few hours. But yeah, that's the biggest piece of advice. That's where I am now. I will do a follow-up to this after I'm done. Let's see, if I'm going at the end of May for my 4th session, I'll probably go the end of June. I'm gonna say probably the end of summer, I should be done. So look for a video maybe around September time for an overall, I'm done with laser hair removal. Here are my final thoughts sort of thing. So if you're looking for our follow-up, make sure that you're subscribed or that you just make sure to make a note to come back and take a look. So that is my review on laser hair removal 50% of the way. Let me know if you're thinking about doing it, or if you've done it, or if you've started, or if you have any other questions. Leave a comment in the comments down below. I am very good about responding to comments, so please feel free to do so. I'll be happy to answer any questions. And if you're gonna do it, good luck. I'm super excited for you. I think you're gonna be super happy with the results. And that's all I have for you today. If you are subscribed to my channel, the next videos that I have a Scentsy haul. I will have a Scentsy consultant update, just to let you know where I am. Gosh, how far am I into this now? I've been doing this for 7 months now, so I'll give you like a 7-month update of how things are going. I will also have a Bath & Body Works haul. I will have a Walt Disney World vlog or review coming up hopefully in the next couple weeks because I just got back last week. Let's see what else I have. And I have a Stitch Fix unboxing coming up. I have so much awesome stuff. So I'm super happy that you will be here during the summer to see all those awesome videos. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up before you go, and I will talk to you guys again next time. Bye-bye.